Hi, welcome to Enter Shaolin, and today we're going to talk about the first, I'd say about 8 moves of Sil Lum Tao. We're going to do the breakdown, teach you how to project your energy properly, and how to apply some of the techniques in movements. Okay? So, when we talk about Sil Lum Tao, okay, Sil Lum Tao means little idea or humble thoughts. And that all movements should be simple, direct, forward, and center. That's the principle of what Sil Lum Tao is for. So we're going to develop that technique today. I'm going to break down the first, like I said, 8 moves, maybe 9 moves, I haven't counted it. But we're going to break down each section and show you how to properly project your energy. It's very important about the energy. There are many different forms, there are many different ways to play. It's not about the order, it's really about the principle of energy movement behind it. And I'm going to use my student Larry, and we're going to show you the rights and the wrongs, okay, of how to do your energy projection in your Sil Lum Tao. Okay, so when we open up, Larry's going to show you the opening. The opening, it doesn't really matter how you do it. Okay, everybody has a specific way of opening. And opening really represents the family's lineage. Okay, so opening doesn't really matter. Okay, we're going to talk about how we're moving these hands when you do the punches. So if he was doing the punches in, so you can see how he moves his hands. So we're going to break this all down for you. Okay, so we're going to go from there. He does the next punch, and we're going to do it here. So we're going to take this first series. Okay. Okay, so once you take your stance on how you open, we're going to talk about how to project the energy. We're going to take the first move where you shoot your wrists down and forward, okay? So it's very important that when you shoot, you're going to shoot a 45-degree angle. So if horizontal and your body represents 90, you want to hit a 45-degree angle downward and forward. So when we go forward, you want to turn your opening hand and then turn your hands in front of you, downward and forward. So when he does this, okay, so go back to your horse stance. So when he does this, it's very important that you want your mindset to always project from your shoulder, drive it to your elbow. From the elbow, drive it to your wrist. And the wrist, you must turn to the point of contact. Okay? So, we're not going to take the shoulder and push it to the wrist. It's very common that people do that. It's actually incorrect, and I'm going to show you the energy projection and how to do it, and the differences in it. So, when he does this, it's very important that he drops the shoulder down to the elbow, drives the elbow down to the wrist, and the wrist must turn to the point of contact. So when he does that, it'll do this, and then when he brings it, he's going to fold at the elbow and come upward, turning the wrist at the same time, keeping the hands at the wrist level here. Okay? And then when at the very top, he's going to open it apart about shoulder width. He's going to make the 2 fists, and he's going to draw backwards and draw to the side. Okay? So, if we notice when he holds the horse stance, now there are different variations. Some people tuck it really high, some people drop it down low. For us, we keep it according to the anatomical limits of the body. So, the shoulders should be tucked down, should never rise, because then you're pulling energy backwards into your shoulders. So, you must have it down to sit. Once it's down, you must drive to the elbow. From where the elbow sits, it has to come straight where the wrist will be horizontal to the ground. So you can't have his hands higher and he can't have his hands lower. He's not keeping the energy forward. He's either dropping it when he's lower or he's pulling it to his face when he goes. So he wants to have it level, usually about where the floating ribs are. Okay? So this would be our proper hand stance. Okay? The hand should just form a fist, so you're not trying to tense and squeeze the fist. Okay? The whole time when we're going to do the Sil Lum Tao, our focus, our thoughts, okay, is to be relaxed right now. It is not to tense. Don't squeeze the body, tense the body. It's to keep the energy aligned while staying relaxed. Okay? The thing what we want to do is we want to drive from here. When he takes the 45 degrees, he's going to open his fingers. Okay? And the test that you want to do is, if we do it like this, and I just held my finger, okay, and you would have a partner, and just take a thumb and a finger, and we're going to just hold it very lightly. You don't have to be fighting it tight. But if he pushes from the shoulder to the wrist, do the form where you go downward, with both hands, he will not be able to drive that forward. This is not a high resistance, but because he's pushing from here to here, it's going to go back into his shoulders. If he turns the wrist, drives the shoulder to the elbow, elbow to the wrist, and turns the wrist at the same time, he will naturally move me backwards. And that's the same resistance I just gave him. I didn't give him more, I didn't give him less. I'm just going to hold my posture like this. If he does it, it'll drive me backwards. That's his forward energy. If he tries from the shoulder to the wrist, you can see it doesn't. Okay? It's a lot harder for him. Okay? So for the proper energy projection, you've got to think from the shoulder down to the elbow, from the elbow to the wrist, and you must turn your wrist. So as he moves his hand forward, he will naturally turn his wrist. You can do both hands. Yeah. So he can naturally turn his wrist at the same time. Now the rise up, same thing. When we look at the energy projection, if I were to take my 2 fingers like this, and he goes up but doesn't turn his wrists, Just go up. He's going to feel the pressure go right to his shoulders. That's improper energy flow. He's got to turn his wrists and bend at the elbows. So when he goes up, it will naturally create a rise. And the guy can hold fairly tight, and it'll still work. Okay?